Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to HOI IV as we are playing as the Kingdom of Italy. So sorry there wasn't a video on Tuesday. I actually did record one on Monday. However, I wasn't able to edit it because we had kind of major crisis with our situation on trying to sell the house. The only thing I have left to do to get this deal done is to have the siding replaced, which is a project that we've been trying to do for like a month and it keeps getting pushed back every week. And we're finally supposed to get it done this week because we're going to be closing soon. We're like 12 days away from closing, 11 days away from when I got to get out of this house. And so we're at the last minute right now. And so he's supposed to finally start it this week. And then he calls me on Monday and tells me that, nope, I'm not going to be doing it. Sorry, I won't be able to do it until closing week, the week I'm supposed to close, which means we'd have to push the closing back by probably about a week or two, or most likely closer to 2 weeks. And our buyer has made it very clear that he is not willing to push the date back any further, and so therefore we're at risk of losing our third sale, so losing the sale again. So it's an absolute crisis, trying to get it resolved. I still haven't got it figured out yet, but hopefully we can get this done before close. These last 4 months have just been a never-ending nightmare of just crisis after crisis. Just everything that can go wrong has gone wrong, and it's just been horrible. I'm never selling a house again. The house we buy, if we ever get into it, the one that we purchased, I don't see us ever leaving because this has been horrible. A horrible experience, but hopefully we can get it done. We'll see, guys, but this could be pretty bad if we can't. So that's the reason why we didn't have a video. Is I was working on that throughout all the second half of Monday and then well into Tuesday, trying to get it dealt with, and I was on the phone all day today as well. Let's go ahead and hop on into today's episode, get some stuff started here, like the focus tree. So remember, we're going to wait to get this focus over here, the war with Greece, until the French go communist, which should be with this election, May 1940. So that'll allow us to get a few focuses, like maybe 3 focuses or whatever, before then. And then we'll attack Greece and Turkey, and then from there it'll probably be the communists. We'll fight the French, the Russians, and the Spanish. But yeah, there's quite a few focuses we need, and I think the first one we should get is this one here for those 3 research bonuses, because we're going to be researching a lot of aircraft techs here very soon. Also gets us a military factory and some variants that I don't think we'll use because they're not great. They're okay. Oh yes, a couple more things to do here before we let this play. We need to send volunteers to China. We can send volunteers again. So I'm not entirely sure why we weren't able to in the first place. Somebody told me that it was one of the focuses that unlocked that ability. So I think it was this one over here that we just got. However, I'm not seeing it in there. Nowhere in there is it saying that we unlocked the ability to send volunteers, and what locked it in the first place, because we were sending volunteers. I know we went non-aligned, but that's restricted by world tension, and world tension's already high enough to send volunteers, so I'm not entirely sure what was restricting us in the first place. But yeah, we can send volunteers, so we sent those 3 over here to China. Those will get there in November. Let's see here, November 16th is when we'll get those there. Also, we have some political power to spend, and I wanted to improve worker conditions while also doing the anti-fascist raids. We really need to get this fascism ticked down some so we can get that one focus. It's currently at 54%. We're at 36% for not aligned. Remember, that went down when we got that focus that increased fascist support by 5%. So we dropped from 38 to 33 and are building it back up. And then the final thing I wanted to note here is about planes. So if we look at our Pescatoria here, you notice they got an exclamation point there, and I don't know how I missed this here, but you can see that when on naval strike it says it's red because they're not going to use this armament for the naval strike. They're only going to use the torpedoes because those are better. You can see that over here as well with the naval strike. It goes up to 13, so that's the 1 plus the 12 that you get from the torpedoes. It's not considering the 2 points you get from this. So basically, if you're not going to use these for close air support, which we're not, there's no reason to have that on there. We would just want to take it off because you can't put more torpedo mountings on there. So there's really nothing else for us to get here, guys. So you would just take it off. I'm not going to do it though, because not with this model, because that's going to actually change them. It's not that much production. It's 1 plus production here. But yeah, that would change them so the new variants, because they'll have different missions, would not be able to reinforce the current version. So yeah, we just can't change it, unfortunately. We know it for the future, basically. But for now, we're just going to leave them as is, and we'll keep that in mind when we design the next version, which we will be getting soon. So we also need to change up our resources here, what we're trading for, because we don't need the chromium anymore while we need other resources. We'll trade with the Belgians, and it is like so loud today outside, guys. Sorry about that. You guys are going to hear a lot of like helicopters and planes and cars going by. It's been just really, really loud today. There's lots of stuff happening. That's another reason why I just can't wait to move. Because, you know, this house here is like terrible for recording. It's a corner house on a busy neighborhood road, not that far from multiple airports and military bases. And so, yeah, just lots of aircraft overhead all the time, and obviously lots of cars going by. So it should be a bunch. I did just get a phone call, so I don't remember what I was talking about here, but we're going to get the range improvements. This is the next thing we're going to get. Yeah, I know I was talking about something. Sorry about that. Looks like we finished up something here. No, we just got some extra dockyards we'll put into the submarines there. And also, we're short on tungsten and rubber here still, but we're going to leave that as is. But yeah, I just got a phone call, which was actually good news. It does seem that we're going to get this taken care of last minute, but it was some haggling with the insurance that was causing some of the delays, as well as the other delays that happened with getting it fixed were caused by the hurricane that happened in Florida. My contractor lost a couple of his guys at the last minute when they're supposed to be doing the work, as they decided to go to Florida in order to, you know, get all that extra work that's going on down there due to the hurricane. You know, lots of construction work and, you know, repairs, roofs and houses and rebuilding and all of that. And so, yeah, they just kind of abandoned him to go down to Florida. So I think we're gonna get Vladimir here because he's a commando. His Bulgarian nationality won't help us much on anything, but yeah, he's got the commando trait as well as infiltrator. So that's who we're gonna hire. One thing I would really like to do is to get our compliance up over here, make it a little bit easier, also to get them to capitulate by doing the collaboration government. That'll help us with both of those. So yeah, I think we would do that with the French eventually, but let's first work on Turkey and Greece, since those would be our next conflicts here, guys. So we'll do Greece first and then Turkey, which we get those from the focus tree, 35-day focuses, so it's not like, you know, 120 days to get the war goals there. Yeah, I've had quite a few issues with the insurance on getting everything covered and paid for, and thought that was all resolved, but we were still dealing with it, unfortunately. So I think we're going to attack here, and since this is a hill province, so in that case we just want all of our troops in this province, I think. Although we might be able to attack from here. Nope. Okay, I thought that might be touching, but it's not. That's clearly not. Oh, and it looks like they took that. We got to take it back. Yeah, I'm glad that it seems like the work's now going to get done. Last minute, like super last minute. But if they can get it done in a week, then we should be good to go. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. So we got to help the Chinese here. Remember, we conquered all this territory when we were using our volunteers here before, but it looks like they lost all of it. And we're just going to throw everything we got into these guys to move as quickly as we can over here and try and take advantage of some openings, maybe. It looks like that's not going to be open to us. Let's go ahead and pull this back here. And I think we'll try and get across the river because that guy's not moving over there anymore. He was actually going this way. I thought he was moving over here. That was not the case. So what we'd want to do is probably take the weakest unit and get him going over there, and then probably just have the other two attack here. I know they're going to attempt to leave here, so we're just going to need to fix this so they don't, because yeah, we want to keep them here. So we'll send one unit across the river, and that also results in him attacking here. And so we're going to attack him there to try and help out with that defense, and maybe even get this one unit here cut off. So just trying to help the Chinese out, which they need it now because the Japanese have started their naval invasions, so China's going to be in trouble. I think that war's probably not going to last much longer now. The naval invasions have kicked up. So we get the improved dual-purpose battery, so we'll have to get those added to our ships. The only thing we have left for guns is the medium battery, so we'll get that. We'll have to probably wait for the torpedoes, I think. So it'll be 40 days to get that, but it'll be 1940, so we'll want to start working on hulls at that point. We did finish up that destroyer. All right, excellent. So we want to Get these changed up. I want to say there's really not a lot to change here. I think it's really just the radar. Yeah, radar level 2. Well, we actually have the new guns, don't we? I forgot we had those. So light battery 3 that we can add on there. Now we could instead get the dual purpose 3. And then you're going to have less piercing, but more anti-air. Won't affect the speed at all. I mean, that piercing is so small anyway that it's not going to pierce anything. Yeah, I mean, that's not even going to pierce anything anyways. So really, you're probably best off going with the dual purpose for the destroyer, so you have some more anti-air. Now, another thing to consider is production. It is slightly higher in production. And I guess it does require more steel. So that's another consideration. As you're going to now have to pay more steel for it, which we are short in steel. So there is that as well to consider. But I think we're going to put them on there anyways. Alright, so let's go and save that. I was going to move this up above the submarines and get them building with the full dockyards here. Alright, so yeah, I didn't expect to use dual purpose there. That is, of course, going to require more steel shortages, and also it looks like we're not getting all the rubber we need from Siam. So we're going to have to trade with somebody else, maybe Brazil? Sure. We'll do Brazil, and then we want to get this steel set up as well. Alright, so just the 3 tungsten that we're currently short on, and that's fine. So we're not going to win here or here, so we're basically getting pushed back. That's unfortunate. And Bangladesh has declared war on Pakistan. So we can cut them off here now. So we'll go ahead and do that. And get those guys wiped out. We got the Naval Department, so let's get the last one, the Air Force Department there. And let me see if we can't get these guys destroyed. We'll send one over here and then one over here. And that should work out nicely. And then what we can do is go ahead and take this weak guy and have him take that real quick. So we did get the anti-air upgrade. Those are just the passive bonuses. And while we are close to 1940 and do need these, there's so many other things we have to get at this point, guys. So I think we're going to work on the plane stuff. Yeah, start getting all this research, because we want to get the engines here, and then of course the actual plane models. So let's get the engines first, and then after we finish up with the plane stuff, we'll go after the ship stuff. Maybe we should do ships first because they take longer to build. I don't know. And we are researching those guns, so it's not like we're not investing any techs on it. Now I know that we're running a little low on manpower. Getting across this river is going to be such a pain, guys. But yeah, I know we're running a little bit low on the manpower. However, I think we should, because political power is not a problem, I think we should wait before we change up. Because remember, once we change over to extensive, we're going to get the training time penalty. Also, it looks like we can't do it because yeah, we're no longer fascists. So we'd have to wait until we're at war with somebody before we can change it up anyways. But yeah, I wouldn't have changed it up because, let's not get that penalty for the training until we absolutely have to. We have units training here. One thing I need to do is we can go ahead and add another battalion here. I think it's just the one. Yeah, that's all we can get due to the special forces limit. But let's go and get them up to 14 combat width and get them trained. Makes sense. Go ahead and get that done. And they have gotten back across the river, unfortunately. And they could easily cut us off here, so that's kind of disastrous. So what we might want to go ahead and do is do this attack now. Try and push them back. We did get this focus knocked out. All right, excellent. So those research bonuses for the planes. And, we're still waiting on a couple things to get these other focuses here. So we're just going to continue on these focuses in the air and land branches. And so what I'm thinking is probably this one, because this will allow us to build the light tanks faster. That's something we're short on. We're also going to get a research bonus for light tanks, and we're going to get a military factory too. And that's one of the things that we're most short on, or have been anyway, is the light tanks. We're also short on support equipment, probably because we're building all those units and adding the support companies and stuff. So yeah, we're a little short on the support equipment as well. And Poland did return Danzig. Alright, so that means the Germany is much less likely to attack them. They have united their territories here. If Poland does not return Danzig, then the German Empire almost always attacks them. But now, I don't know. They might not. I don't really know what they're going to do next. But I kind of feel like they were probably not going to attack the Polish. Might come over this way now. Start going west. We'll have to see. Just have to see what they do. They also are going to see the Soviets as a natural enemy as well. So at the very least here, we'll be able to defend across the river, but yeah, this is still resulting in us losing. So despite the fact that these Japanese troops here are cut off, they're still very, very effective here. And a big part of that is we are also lacking supplies. We can go ahead and do this, get the motorized for them. That's something that I have done for all my other troops, but we didn't do for the volunteers yet. But to get the field hospitals, there's a bunch of stuff we need over here, guys. But again, I think we're going to work on ships and planes since those are unlocked. Unless, you know what, we didn't get this yet. Yeah, we should do this. Get that research bonus. And one of the interesting things, they also added text here. So they didn't have, that might have been in there before, but yeah, they didn't have the bomb sights, obviously, since that mechanic wasn't even in there for the plane designer. But yeah, they've been adding text to that. I don't think I noticed that before, if it was a part of it. That's the Air Force Department. Let's go with suicide pills. We're just going to go ahead and get all the ones we need. Just get them done. I know we need the civilian factories as well, but yeah, it'll be fine. So we did get pushed back there, unfortunately. So yeah, I'd like to get across here, but yeah, I don't know if we're going to have any success. Move this guy over here, but yeah, we're having a lot of difficulty over here. So we did get the improved medium battery. Excellent. So I think we're going to go ahead and start working on the ship hulls. Again, we'll wait on the torpedoes. Let's get the battleships, because we are in 1940. So I want to get those building, and we got to get them researched first, obviously. Alright, so they're attacking across this river into all these locations. And looks like the only place we won was right there. Yeah, we're going to lose here, so we're going to have to attack right there. Yeah, this is a bad situation here. Yeah, we just came into this area and we were doing great, but then we got cut off from our the supplies we had on this side. You know, not cut off, but you know, we didn't have access to supplies. So pushing them back is going to be difficult until they're all supplied up again, which it looks like they are. Okay, so it was just coming over here that was causing us all those issues, just too far away from the supply hubs. We also have the ability to get a land doctrine. Okay, we got some experience. So let's go ahead and get the delay, increase in organization for infantry. As we have not made much progress, as you can see, on the doctrine tree. We're getting all kinds of stuff knocked out. We got that range improvements done. You can see we have these research bonuses here now. So I think we're going to start working on the improved small airframe. 92 days to get that knocked out with the research bonus. Alright, so let's go and attack here. Let's support with these guys. Try and get them pushed back across the river. At least we have a good defensive situation, but yeah, you can't even seem to get a win here. Alright, so that was kind of pathetic. Couldn't get it done, guys. So we'll try again here. It looks like they're about to be defeated anyways. So let's go ahead and try one more time. See if this is a win. Looks like it should be. Yeah, but to get pushed back so rapidly, man. That was did not go well for us. And yeah, I think it's gonna be over for China with those Japanese naval invasions. So we tried, we helped as much as we could. They had far more success than I've seen China have in some time. A big part of that was our assistance, but you know, they did quite a bit as well. We're gonna give the Chinese credit where credit's due. So as far as our military factories, let me just take a look. I know that support equipment's short, but we are fixing that problem. Light tanks, you see we're also getting that sorted out, but we want to build more light tanks. So I kind of feel like we should put them towards the light tanks. We have the 8 factories here, but that's clearly not enough. So I was going to put a bit more into there. Also, with the planes, I think we're going to wait until we get the new models out there. Yeah, if we need to get anything, we'll get the support equipment so we can build up a little bit of stockpile there. Now the Germans are stacked up on our borders here. Let's hope they don't attack us because we've got no troops defending those borders. That obviously causes some severe issues. And we were able to move forward here. Excellent, but again, we're short on supply. Okay, so it's just like taking that province, and then we start having the supply issues. So let's go ahead and go after the interrogation techniques. And let me see if I can't help here. We cannot. Now we don't have a field marshal here, so we're going to get one. Get those benefits. Now I've had a few people ask me why we haven't gotten any air volunteers into China or anywhere else where we sent volunteers. I don't think we really justify getting that with just the one carrier. Let's do the submarine one. But the reason why is because if we really are trying to get air experience, we could just train our planes up. They don't have to need experience for us to train them up. So I think that would be the better way to get air experience if that's what we're attempting to do, because we wouldn't lose that many planes to accidents. There'd be a few. However, we send our planes as volunteers here, then we're fighting the Japanese Air Force, which is going to be superior. I mean, how many volunteers can we actually send? Not very many. So we're sending our planes like vastly outnumbered by the Japanese Air Force. And yeah, we're getting pushed back here, guys. And so I feel like we just lose a bunch of planes. It wouldn't be worth it for the experience. We already have a shortage of planes, and yeah, they're pushing us all the way back here, and we cannot even recover our organization fast enough to stop this. But again, I think the fall of China is imminent. So all we can do is really help out, do our best here. I feel like the problem is supply up here, and that's just not going to get any better. I almost want to try and help them push back into the sea, these Japanese troops, but I don't know if we'll be able to do it or not. But what we can do is like take that port there, cut that guy off. We can work, do a little bit of work down here, and I think that's what we should do. Let's just going to get rid of this here, and you know, just try and help out down here with these naval invasions where, you know, the Chinese are currently losing all of their factories. So that's going to impact them. We got our own civilian factories, need to get assigned some stuff. So we're doing pretty good with the military factory construction. Civilian factories has been an issue because of how much we're having to trade. So we do need to keep building these in order to ensure that we at least have 2 lines going, because you see we don't even have a full 2 lines at this point. All the trade is impacting us. We could look to see if there's anything here we can get with the infrastructure, but I don't really think so, guys. Also, we need to take a look if building an infrastructure there improve the supply on the end there. So I guess just more military factories now that we've got the civilians there. Yeah, we do need dockyards as well, but just not as big of a priority. And we're actually starting to run a little low on space. So I just wanted to see. It looks like it almost fixed it. It's pretty close. I mean, these guys aren't really hurting that bad, so I think it's fine if we leave them there. Yeah, not too worried about it. Alright, so these guys should be taking the rails. Some of them are retreating, so they're not able to. Just gotta wait for that guy to finish up his retreat. We did get the focus, and I think we'll get one more focus. I think we should be able to. Now, what sucks is that with all 3 of these, it requires that we're at war with a major country to be able to knock these out. So Italy really doesn't have access to much of their focus is here until after they go to war with a major country. And so once we go to war with France, we'll be able to get all these. But until then, we'll just have to work on what we got, which we do have a lot of options. And I'm thinking army leaders for the division speed, the experience. Also, we're going to get a new general. So yeah, some good bonuses there. So we want to get that. Alright, so our troops are moving down south. Let me make sure that they're all taking the rails. Yeah, here we go. That's the last guy we're waiting on. And we got the interrogation techniques. Excellent. Let's go with I think we're just going to do the passive defense next. Yeah, we'll just do the passive defense, get those knocked out. We also got to get those anti-partisans. Don't have any issues with it right now, but it will be a problem in the future. And what do we finish up? Oh, the light cruisers. Okay, so let's go ahead and get them changed up. Because there's quite a few things I think that we have here. We got the guns. We can go ahead and put those on. I don't see any reason not to. That's not in here, though. So the light cruiser battery 3s, we'll put those on there. We don't have the anti-air yet, so don't need to replace that. Did we already do the fire control systems? We already did the fire control systems. We've already done the radar as well. That's right, because we designed these not that long ago. And we do have better dual purpose, though, that we can add on there. So we'll put that. And then this here, I think this is the medium battery here. So get the light cruiser battery 3. This is going to slow them down, obviously, because, you know, obviously they're not designed, you know, for this heavy weight here. All these extra things. So it's going to slow them down a lot. But it's going to increase the light attack by quite a bit. Air attack's going up by a little bit. We already checked the anti-air. You know, got the torpedoes. So that's everything, I believe, that we can replace. And it's too much experience. We only have 6. So that's a shame. So we're going to have to just build submarines for a little bit with the convoys until we get a little bit more experience, guys. Now, we don't have to put the new guns on there. I suppose I can take a look and see if we get it done if we didn't do the guns. Because that is slowing it down by quite a bit. So let me just see. Because, you know, we'll be getting new light cruisers soon. So yeah, if we didn't do the guns, although I do want the dual purpose on there. That slows it down a little bit, but not enough where I wouldn't want to get it. Yeah, if we only replace those, it does give us a little bit more attack. But you know what? I kind of feel like maybe it's not even worth doing if you're just going to improve that. Since we already have the radar. So yeah, it's either do all the guns or nothing, is what I think. And then just have like a slower light cruiser, but it might be better to just wait till we get the next light cruisers. Just keep these as is. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. And I suppose we can keep them building because we don't know when we're going to have them. The text for them. So yeah, we'll go back to only building like 3 dockyards worth, 2 or 3 dockyards worth for the submarines. We probably have some ships here that need to get trained up. So did these ones finish up? They did. All right, so we're just going to keep throwing these in here. I'll get them all designed later. You know, redo all these. For right now, though, this is fine. We are full on fuel. So what we could go ahead and do, take these guys and put them into... Actually, they're supposed to go in this one. And then just let them all train up. Like all the submarines. Unless we don't have the fuel to keep them going. And that looks pretty good. Then put these guys over here and let them train up as well, which we're going to put them onto the max split off. And just train them until they get the experience. But with the submarines, we'll be training them up for that naval experience. Because yeah, we haven't been doing that. I did train up some planes here. So we have some of our newer planes out there. So the Pescatore are out there. Some more of the Falcos. So we don't have a large air force over here. It's almost 1,200 planes, but that's it. So let me just take a look and see if there's anything else in the stockpile besides these bigger ones. I guess that's a fighter, old fighter wing. We can put the close air support out there and more Pescatore. So I guess we'll do all that. And you know what? Let's get one old fighter wing out there too. And then go ahead and get all these trained up. Excellent. So we'll train those, and let's just see if our troops are over here yet. Geez, I can't get anything done. We just keep on getting everything researched. There's always something that needs to be done, huh? So these are all things we're either not going to get or are ahead of time. And I don't think we're going to do the large airframes because we don't have any of those yet. I don't really want to spend time researching these old ones, and we're probably not going to have strategic bombers. That's why I designed those tactical bombers the way I did, so that they could perform the strategic bombing for us. They're just going to do anything we need them to do, including the strategic bombing. Because I'm not going to bother getting those as Italy. We just don't have the production, honestly. Alright, so these troops, we can wait till they get the organization up, but they're really hurting on supplies. I don't know how far they'll be able to get it. But yeah, if we can win here, as they're doing force attack right now, and this is just the AI, like a perfect opportunity to cut some troops off here. But instead they're going to attack that guy. For nothing, for just a province, a mountain province, in the mountains. Yeah. And they don't really register that. Again, the AI doesn't really like cutting troops off. It's just not the way they like to do things. So we have one thing left to get here, unless we also get the fuel refining. So let me get that. We're looking pretty good on fuel right now. I don't think we have much of a stockpile. Yeah, fuel capacity is pretty low, so maybe we want to go ahead and get the fuel silo. So we can stockpile a little bit more fuel. And maybe we should tick that up a little bit higher here as well. I'm thinking, let's kind of move these around a little bit. And these guys need to train. In fact, we could probably deploy some troops. So let's go ahead and get a few more troops out there. I think we need like 9 going to get us up to 5 here. And then we'll deploy those guys as well. And then with the rest of these troops here, we'll probably just put them on the German front for right now. Oops, we don't want to do it that way. Give them to a new army here. Yeah, I'll just put them over here for now, just in case Germany does something crazy. We'll put some troops over there to defend it, but I don't expect any issues at this point. And India declared war on the Indian People's Republic. Okay, so that's their civil war. Remember, we sent them down the communist path. Yeah, such a bummer this went down this way. Because, yeah, now I'm attacking into a mountain province with forts with no real benefit. So we're going to want to change this up then, basically. And instead attack this way. See if there's any ports. I mean, it's just these 3 ports here. And, of course, that one, if you can slowly make your way through here. Maybe there's still that port there. I was going to say that getting to this one would be probably the easiest. Let's see if we can't win here first. What we want to do is attack that cav unit, because it's a really weak cav unit. And so I'm just thinking, like, maybe we can get this win if we throw all 3 divisions into it. There we go. Beautiful. And then we can try and get over to here, like, immediately. And cut off, well, maybe not. So we'd have to have all the units here now. In this one location. And just keep on, like, rotating the attack in and out until we eventually get the win. We got the passive defense. Excellent. We got to do a bunch more of those, though. Yeah, not looking good here due to this supply shortages that we have. The Hispanic Alliance. Okay. So we're going to see an alliance down there. And is this the... I didn't read it. Guessing this is the one that Mexico set up. Yep. And they already have the Dominican Republic. We'll likely see probably Venezuela and Peru join. And so that was the Central and South American faction that I mentioned at the beginning of the campaign. Then I did expect to merge with the route we sent them. So if there's nobody there, then we should be able to cut this one unit off, you know, from being able to retreat. He'll still have supply because he'll have the port there. But hopefully, we should be able to grab these 2 ports here. We'll see. And Indian People's Republic was already annexed. Well, that's interesting. So that means they're going to probably stay non-aligned. And in the allied faction, perhaps, even though they're fascists. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But the communist rebellion did not work out there. The communist civil war. There probably wasn't enough communist support, I assume. Alright, so now this is looking kind of ugly here, guys. Yeah, we're about to get forced back here when we haven't even gotten this guy there yet. Just can't really do much without any supply. And there's nothing I can do about that. We got the motorized turned all the way up, and there's really nothing else to be done. We're just not getting any supplies here. Alright, so we tried, but they put more troops down here. I can go this way, I guess, but yeah, they're just so limited on what we can do. We did get the improved small airframe. Excellent. So that's a ton of planes that we need to design now, since we're using that for, what, 3 different plane types. We also never got the planes for the carriers. Now, apparently, there's something not working properly with the carriers. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get a tech selected. Or at least that's what I've been told by a couple different people. So, while we still need the torpedoes, I think we're going to work on holes and get these done, since we've got all the plane ones either researched or researching. So let's go ahead and work on, I think, the cruiser hull. 113 days here. So while we could give them different names, these are all these models here that we got from the focus tree. None of these are ones we're going to want to use. I already looked at them before, and yeah, they're not for us. Alright, so that looks good. I think hopefully I didn't remove anything here that we want to keep. I mean, we can go ahead and get rid of all the basic stuff, since we now have the improved. We'll keep these around for a minute, because I don't know if we'll have the air experience to get them all designed. So we're going to do them just a few at a time here. So let's go and start with the Falcos. Now, while we could name each model, you know, 1940, the 1944, so on, we could name each one its own unique name, but just keep it simple. We're going to give it the same name here, guys. And we're going to want to go with the, I'm thinking the heavy machine guns here. I know that's going to result in the weight being quite a bit higher, and thus is going to reduce our max speed and all that kind of stuff. Our agility doesn't reduce, though, as you can see. I'm going to go with the heavy machine guns, so we can get that air attack up a lot higher. Look at the difference, 8 and 12. So a much bigger difference here. Also, you can use them for logistic strikes with the heavy machine guns, where you can't do that with the light machine guns. Not that we'll use them for that, but, you know, it's an option. And as far as how many of these you want to put, I don't know, man. We'll see how many we can get on there, because there's not really a whole lot of stuff that we need besides the machine guns. So as for down here, there's a couple things I can see using. Now we want to get stuff that doesn't reduce agility, because I don't think there's any bonus you can get that would make up for losing agility, including like air defense, which you can get with, you know, obviously you could put up your air attack here if you wanted to, but I don't think that's worth it. So we're not going to get those turrets. But yeah, you could put up the air defense here. Oh, it doesn't reduce your agility, it reduces your range. My bad. So we don't want to get that unless we were to get the drop tanks, which increase the range. But then it's like, why not just keep the range on them rather than giving them air defense? It does save their lives, I suppose. But again, all this doesn't cost us agility, it's just production. I think we should get the drop tanks to increase that range, because that's pretty helpful. And that will increase their efficiency as well. You know, none of this here is really necessary. You know, obviously, you know, any reduction of night penalty is helpful, but yeah, I don't think it's worth it. So we're not gonna get any of those. But yeah, the only thing I really see getting here now at this point is if you want to get some armor defense by reducing the range, so sacrificing range to get some air defense. But again, I don't think we're gonna get that. I think we're just gonna leave that as is with the really high points here in range and air attack and agility. And thus we just need to change up the engine here. We could keep it with one engine, I think. So yeah, you could just put it with one engine if you want to keep production costs low. Here looking at 3 production, max speed 550, thrust is 30. So that's going to put us at max speed of 620. Could also go with 2 engines, and that will not really help you much, as you can see here. Just going to result in you having more fuel usage, because you get more thrust, but that's, for whatever reason, that's not actually increasing your max speed. Yeah, that's strange. Despite getting more thrust. Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, there's no real advantage to going with 2 engines. So we're just going to go with the 1 engine. And this looks pretty solid here, guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and save it. Don't need the rest of these slots here. And production's already, you know, pretty high for some fighters, guys. So let's go ahead and change out, I suppose what we could do, that'll make it easier to find it as well. Let's go ahead and decommission those. And what we'd want to do is get the new Falcos added, which looks like it's a little bit broken there. That this happens, unfortunately. Yeah, we've seen this in the past campaign, actually. The German one, we had some problems here with the production screen, some bugs. I guess we'll work on the close air support next. And I believe we used that tag. I want to keep all the same tags so I don't have any problems. Yeah, we use that since these are our dive bombers. Alright, so we're going to want to get the small bomb bay. Question is, do we want to get another one, though? To further increase the ground attack, but again, sacrificing our agility here. Agility is going to be pretty garbage. Because you could just put the bomb locks on there instead. So that is an option. Also, this gives you the ability to use them for naval strike. But yeah, the production is so much higher here for what you're getting. Yeah, I mean, it's a 4 production. Yeah, that's insane. So you probably just want to put bomb locks on there. And you get 2 of these. And it's going to affect the agility about the same amount. Because this is, well, never mind. Let me take that back. It's not the same amount. So it'd be 30 over just 20. But yeah, rather than getting 8 ground attack, you're getting 12 if you get 2 of these. And the production is 2. 2 production, which is lower than what this one costs. So you'll lose agility, essentially. Well, there is the extra weight as well of having these. So you have to account for that with your thrust. Yeah, I think this is the better option here, guys. So let's go ahead and get... we want to get the die breaks again. That's helpful for us. The defense turrets, I don't think we'll want to do because the sacrificing of agility, I just don't know if these are worth it, actually. Other than for the big planes that don't have any agility anyways. Like, they're going to have, like, 1 agility when they do their bombing missions because they just have too much stuff on them. Then you're not really sacrificing anything. But yeah, because agility does affect bombers. I had somebody ask me about that in the comments. It absolutely does. Agility affects everything. So it's a very important stat. So we do want to try and avoid losing too much agility because of the impact it has. These will help you with the air defense. And that's only 1 extra production. It does increase the weight by 1 and the production by 1, but yeah, it does increase that air defense by a bit, so that might be something we want to get. Well, let's go ahead and get the drop tanks on here, in addition to the die brakes. So we basically have 2 options here, the armor plates or the self-sealing fuel tanks, which if you look at the bonuses that you're getting here, air defense in both of these options is going to be the same, 4. But this one you sacrifice the range, production's exactly the same, but the big deal here is that you're going to use 1 more rubber. So that's what makes this a problem. When you're short on rubber, yeah, that's going to be an issue. Every factory going to cost you 1 more rubber to build these. That's kind of a big deal. So I don't think we're going to get that. You know, I almost feel like we're not going to get anything else here for these close air support. That's not typically what we have problems with keeping up in the sky. Close air support is not usually the issue. I see the problem being, also they do get the air defense already when they're doing the mission here because of the die brakes. But yeah, I think the problem is going to be with those fighters. I don't really like where their air defense is, so might want to change that up. But yeah, we do got to get a different engine in here, so let's go ahead and get them. I mean, you really don't actually have to go with the highest level one, technically, but yeah, we're going to do that anyways. I know the production is obviously going to be changing here by 1, so that's something to consider. Fuel usage is the same though. But yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and leave it with this engine. Let's go ahead and save that. And is this the? Yeah, I guess that probably works. I think it's the same one we used for our last one there. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's save that, and then we'll want to get these outdated, decommissioned, and then change up this one here. And yeah, I think changing up those Falcos again. I know that that's obviously not optimum doing this 2 times, but I do think we should put the self-sealing fuel tanks on here. I know that's going to result in us losing a little bit of our max speed, but I think getting the air defense would be helpful. I think it would be worth the extra production and the extra resource if it keeps these guys alive longer. I'm gonna put these back up here and get the 5 factories going back into those, and you can see it's using up a ton of rubber. Yeah, quite a bit of rubber, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's worth it, honestly. Well, for whatever reason, we don't need as much steel, so that'll give us the factory that we need to trade for a bit more rubber. But not a lot of choices over here. So it looks like we're gonna have to trade with the Dutch East Indies. I suppose that's fine. We don't know that they'll necessarily become an enemy. I'm over here closing that, acting like we're done. We still got more planes to design. We haven't done the Pescatore yet, so let's go ahead and start working on that. And yeah, this just takes so long, guys. Now with the ship designer, the plane designer, the tank designer, I've noticed that the more and more expansions they add, and the more and more features they add, the longer these videos take, and like the less progress I make in each video. It's definitely affecting the Let's Plays, I noticed. Because that just takes so much longer. I've actually gotten much quicker in wars. Like I finished wars fairly quickly, even against major countries. But so much of the game now, so much of the campaign is this. A lot of it now. So some people have a problem with that. There's not really a whole lot to be done. They got to be designed. I don't think there's anything else to get since we found out that getting the bomb locks won't be used. So in that case, you just want to remove it and just have the 1 torpedoes on there. Now you don't have to have the torpedoes if you wanted to instead get a bunch of the bomb locks. I mean, I guess you could do that, but the naval attack is 2, so I mean obviously that's not better than the torpedoes with the naval attack of 12. So there's really no other option when you're building your naval bombers than to just put a torpedo on there. If you don't want them to do any of the missions, that's it. That's all you need for them. Now we could do some stuff here, like for instance the die brakes would affect them during naval strike and give them some extra air defense. So there's that. Also, range is always a problem for our naval bombers, so we'd want to put the drop tanks on them. Yeah, I think that's the best option there, unless you don't have as many penalties for getting those. And I don't know if there's anything else we want here. Yeah, I feel like since they have the die brakes, we don't need to put the self-sealing fuel tanks, and frankly, we don't want to pay the rubber for that. So we got those engines put on there. I am wondering if it's worth the extra production for these ones. Since yeah, max speed is, yeah, I almost think that for these ones we might want to go with the engine 2s. Because yeah, we're going to save a bit of production on that. Yeah, I think we will go with the engine 2s for these ones. Now we could put the air-ground radar on here if we wanted to, but I don't think we're gonna. That'd be in the electronics here. But yeah, if we did that, that would increase the detection for the naval patrol, so you could use the naval bombers for that. And most importantly, whenever you're doing naval strike, the night penalty is going to be reduced by -30%, so that's pretty helpful. So I can see putting that on there, but it is 2 production, guys. So I think we're just going to save this as is. It looks pretty solid to me. So let's go and save that. And then we're going to want to decommission the old pescatories and get them replaced with the new ones. So I think there's one more plane design, because we don't have the medium airframes just yet. But we have the improved carrier airframe, and we haven't built anything for those carriers yet, so we're going to need to get this going, guys. So what we're trying to do here with this is basically a multi-role plane that can do everything we need it to do. So essentially we'll do torpedo mountings, and we'll do the fighter weapons as well. So probably just the light machine guns is what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think we'll just do the light machine guns here, guys. You can put more on there to get a bit more air attack. Because yeah, you don't need anything else for the naval attack. You could also put something here so they could act as close air support if you wanted them to do that. But I don't typically use my my carrier planes for close air support. So I don't think we will get that. You could get some more machine guns to further tick up the air attack if you wanted to get up to like 16. Suppose I wouldn't have that. Yeah, I suppose we could do that so that they can at least do well on their fighter missions. So is there anything else we need over here? I guess you could do the drop tanks, but you don't really need to because range is not really the issue for any carrier planes. So yeah, I don't think we would do that because it's not affected at all. I mean, the only time they're used, unless you put them on a mission, is during the actual battles, in which case range is irrelevant. So I suppose we could do armor plates so that we're not using the rubber here, and we could still get the air attack up. So you could do that, and then you can get the die brakes as well for even more air defense. That's what I meant, air defense. I said air attack, I think. But yeah, since range is irrelevant, there's no problem with using the armor plates, I don't think. You can even put more on there if you wanted to. But, this is increasing production costs and the weights. You can see it's getting pretty high over here. So I don't think that's our best option. I almost want to take off one of these light machine guns here. But yeah, the problem with these, supposedly, is that they're only working, and this is just based on 2 comments. I actually looked on the forums. The Paradox has a list of all the known issues, and this is not one of them. I haven't seen anybody else talking about it outside of those 2 comments on one of my videos. But apparently the issue was that while if you put them on a mission off of the carriers, assign them to do naval strike or provide close air support or whatever you assign them to mission-wise, then they'll work just like regular planes. However, unlike the previous version where they would help out your carriers in battle as long as they weren't assigned to a mission. So if you went into battle, your planes just they just helped, they just assisted, and you didn't want them on any missions. But now apparently it's not working that way. Now they don't help out in the battles, so essentially it makes them fairly useless. I wanted to test it out myself though, before we decided to just not build any or make use of them. So we're just going to build the one carrier for now, and the one model here of carrier plane, and see if it is in fact broken. And you know what, they might fix it in a hotfix as well, in a little minor patch that they release, and then it wouldn't be an issue. But yeah, I'd like to test it myself since I wasn't able to really find much to confirm that this is in fact an issue. We're going to name these Gufo, if that's how you pronounce that. It's owl in Italian. I had intended to use this name for any multi-role planes that we got, close air support with, fighter abilities is what I was thinking. But we ended up not using that at all. So we're going to use it for these ones. I know that doesn't really fit for naval planes that primarily are going to be doing the naval strike. But yeah, we'll use that. That's the name I have right now. So we could change that if you guys want, though. I like owls, so this is not a huge priority getting these going. We'll just put them down here at the bottom, and they'll get factories whenever we get them. All right, excellent. So good God, that took forever. I was really hoping to be able to do this invasion in this episode, but here we are just now hitting May, where they switched over to communists as we expected with the election, and so the next focus we would get would be the one to attack the Greeks. And yeah, now we have another design that has to be done, the battleship design. Again, it just takes so long doing all these. It's kind of unfortunate because yeah, we're making much slower progress than we ever did before. And again, I noticed that with each one. Man, the guns thing got really long making the ship designs. And then of course, you know, tank designs and then plane designs, and yeah, they just take so long to do, especially when you're learning the mechanics. But yeah, it's unfortunately resulting in these campaigns lasting longer than they used to. We can go and get rid of all this here, and then go ahead and design this ship, because that's what we're doing in this episode. Apparently, we're designing stuff. So get the fire control in there, get the radar, new engines. We'll do the dual purpose here, I think. Looks like we went over our experience, so we have to take that off, and we'll just have to finish this up once we get a bit more naval experience. We're going to be naming this basically the Roman Empire in Italian. I believe that's in Italian rather than Latin. So this was the only suggestion I saw for battleships in the comments. Maybe I missed a couple, but we do have one more battleship design we might do in 1944 if we even need to go that far with our ship designs. So yeah, we'll just have to save this as is for now, and then we'll finish it up once we get a bit more naval experience. We could check to see exactly how much naval experience we need to finish that up. So yeah, we could just throw stuff in here, and it doesn't really matter what we get, just so long as we know the experience. I mean, we could also add it up by doing math, but let's not do that. It's going to be a 36 experience to get that finished up, guys. All right, so we got our ships training, so hopefully we can get that done soon. We just need to get these 2 ships here added so they'll get trained up here. But yeah, we got all these ships training, so it'll get us some naval experience fairly fast, I think. But yeah, such a bummer, guys, that we didn't get much done. I just don't know. Is anything else popping up here? Because yeah, we're already kind of getting into the end of the video here. I don't think we're making any progress here at all. But yeah, it's unfortunate that we didn't get to the Greek campaign. I mean, I guess we got pretty far month-wise, considering that we're also helping with these volunteers. And you know what? This is like wide open right here. So keep this guy here. Maybe send this guy here just in case you need to attack him or something. But yeah, it's wide open. You can cut this one division off, which is what I wanted to do the whole time, and it looks like it was irrelevant because we lost this. Okay, I'm going to see if we can't win it with his assistance. Oh, nope. That's not going to work. Alright, so just can't really do much over there because of the low supply. So kind of limited on what we can do with no supply. I don't know why the supply is so bad there. We're going to go ahead and do the war with Greece. 35-day focus. And so basically as soon as we get that, we'll declare war on the Greeks. I don't expect anybody will... Oh, never mind. The Americans have decided to guarantee the independence of Greece. So... do we want to start the conflict with them? I was thinking they wouldn't because I didn't think they were far enough in their focus tree to be doing the guarantees and stuff. Americans typically don't do that early on. It's not really early at this point, and they did have a civil war, which I think resulted in them going down a different route with the focus tree. So, usually it's just the British and French you got to worry about, and because neither of them are democratic, I thought we were good to go. That is not the case. Essentially, unless we want to fight the Americans right now, we're probably gonna have to wait to attack Greece and Turkey, and thus probably just our best bet to go after France now. Yeah, I think that's the best option for us. Until the Americans are at war with somebody else, we're just gonna have them like pumping their troops into the Mediterranean. Probably, I mean, these were neutral countries, so you don't have to worry about them attacking from that. Yeah, I think it's going to cause problems. Of course, you're going to have the American fleet here as well. I don't know how they're going to do on range, but overall, we don't want to fight them yet. Not the Americans. It's just there's no real gain to be had by fighting them. They're so far away, we can't finish them. Not yet. So I feel like France is the natural next enemy then, if we can't get Greece knocked out. So we'll go ahead and cancel this and just go after France. Yeah, I think that makes sense. You could do a couple focuses before then, because the French war obviously is going to be much more difficult than the Greek war. And so, yeah, you could do some different focuses. But what I'm thinking is, just because we get this done doesn't mean we necessarily have to attack them. By getting this, it gives us the option to attack them whenever we're ready to do so, because we don't lose this Conquer Wargle, as you would if you did it through one of the diplomatic actions. So we'll keep this Wargle, and so it just lets us use it whenever we're ready to. So maybe we don't declare war immediately on them. Maybe we get a couple more focuses, or maybe wait till winter's over if there's a lot of snow on the ground over here. Because by the time we get that focus done, it's gonna be closer to winter anyways. So yeah, maybe wait until spring next year before we attack the French. However, we want to at least have the focus so we can do it whenever we want to. Like, let's say the French end up war with the Germans, then we don't want to wait. We're going to want to declare war immediately so we can take advantage of that opportunity. And so therefore, having the focus would be good to have. So we'll go ahead and get that knocked out here in 70 days, and we'll see if we utilize it or not. But with the Greeks here, that does mean we do need to pull these troops off the front. There's no reason to have them over here anymore, so I'll do that. I'll get them moved. I guess we'll want to put them on the French border, and over here to go ahead and take Corsica. We're going to also be invading into French North Africa. We won't have to worry about Egypt just yet. So yeah, we'll put our troops over here. There is the one little patch of territory here that we want to get taken out, so might bring these two divisions over there to help out with that. And I think that's it. I think that's all the fronts we'll be facing, because the Soviets don't have any fronts with us. I guess there's the Spanish, but there's nothing that they border us with either. Then there's the Portuguese too, but again, nothing that they border us on. I suppose one focus we could do after we finish this, before we attack the French, would be to go ahead and get that one that we needed the 50% not aligned for. We might. I mean, we're pretty close, and we're ticking that fascist support down. It's just got to be at 51%, and I really do want to start moving down this route. And so yeah, we could do that focus next, because we're currently at 43%, and again, we're moving up pretty quick because of well, we're not doing the anti-fascist raids anymore, so we'd have to do those again if we wanted to continue to tick it up as rapidly as we were. Yeah, we could do that. We have the political power, and stability is still pretty high as well. So let's go and do that. We'll do the anti-fascist raids. I think it's worth it to try and get that focus a little bit quicker. As far as the other uses of our political power, I'm thinking we should maybe make one of our newer battleships the Pride of the Fleet. I think that would make sense, because as of right now, it's this old battleship. So I'm thinking whichever one's the newest, which would be one of these two that we had just built not that long ago. They should be exactly the same. So really just basing off the name, I guess. Okay, there's really no other difference here. So let's go and reassign them. That's 100 political power. So we have a better battleship as the Pride of the Fleet. So that is unfortunately going to be where we have to end the episode today. We didn't get a war done in this one. I was really hoping to get the Greeks knocked out and get ready for the war with Turkey. Pretty much all of our time was taken up with designing planes and ships, unfortunately. Again, it just takes a lot longer to do all that now with all the different designers that we have. So next episode, again, don't expect a war now at this point. We actually need to move all these guys and go ahead and start working on that mission over here. So we'll have to do that as well. A lot of stuff we got to do to get ready for the war with France. But yeah, this is going to result in us probably not having a war next episode either, because I don't think we'll be ready just yet. Yeah, we'll probably have to wait till 41. I don't know. I mean, we could start it and just push forward. I don't think we'll have too many issues, but there are the mountains and the forts, and so we might have to do a naval invasion. Just have to see how things look here. I think we'll probably outnumber them, and they'll also have to protect against the Germans on the Maginot Line, but so do we. So I think it's unlikely that the Germans will attack us, so we could probably take troops off there, that front without any issue. Remember, supply is an issue here, so we can only put so many divisions on this side of things. Probably keep him in charge since he's our mountaineer, and these are a mountainous region. But yeah, what I was thinking is potentially a naval invasion. If we can get the French and Spanish fleets destroyed, potentially a naval invasion over here if we can't break through there, but again, that might not be an issue. We'll have to see. So we'll just watch what's going on, because the other option would be to finish up North Africa and then do a naval invasion into Spain. And probably attack these ports down here. Maybe one into Barcelona as well. I was kind of wanting to get the French wrapped up before we attack Spain, but But yeah, if there's nowhere to do naval invasions here, then there's nothing else for our army to do. And so it makes sense to do a naval invasion of Spain and get them knocked out before the Soviets pump troops into this area. That's going to be a real problem for us, as the Soviets just throw as many troops as they can into these fronts. So that could be an issue, because again, I do expect that they will join the 4th International pretty much as soon as we declare war on them. Maybe they don't, but I think we should go ahead and anticipate that happening. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you guys on the next one, and thanks for watching.